Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing? Love the way you look in the mirror and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Angela Sharina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Today we are continuing our conversation about healthy eating, and we are continuing our series from Healthy Eating 101 course dedicated to mastering through practice your healthy eating habits. Because guys, no matter how much you know about nutrition and healthy eating and healthy lifestyle and dieting, no matter how many books you read, no matter how many studies you read, it doesn't really matter unless you put these things into practice. You learn from things that work for you and things that don't work for you. You experiment, you learn, and you create habits easy for you to maintain for life. Unless you do that, what you read and what you study doesn't really make any difference. It only starts to make difference once you start practicing it regularly, and once you create habits that are lifestyle habits, not just a thing or a fix that you do once in a while. That never works and never brings lifelong results. Same applies to a very common issue that a lot of clients come to me with, and they're like, I've tried these diets and they never worked for me. I always come back to the same thing or get into a worse place, maybe weight or health wise. And I always tell them, it's like taking a shower. You don't take a shower and expect it to last for life. In order for the benefits of cleanliness to stick, you gotta take showers every day. So the same with healthy eating behaviors and fitness and exercise. You want results for life, you gotta have habits, and you gotta do habits for life. And the trick here is that a lot of people seem to not understand or not work on. People are not trying to find that thing that's gonna work for them, taking into consideration their personality, their lifestyle, all of these details that make you you. So people don't experiment enough to find that thing that supports their health, their well-being, the body that they want to have, and they can actually do for life. Like, of course, there's going to be time, that transition time when your new habits seem like they don't work for you at all. There's going to be that time, but at the end of the day, you want to figure out the things that you want and can maintain and make sense to you in your situation, and things that just not you and you'll never be able to sustain. And sometimes it's okay to go for some short-term thing that will give you the results for now, but then you still will have to transition to something that you can maintain for life, so you could keep the results for life. And that's what healthy eating course in Food School, the link to which you can find in the show notes, is all about. And that's what we are mastering these few days on Food School podcast too. So today's topic is shopping, eating out, eating on the go, saving money and energy while shopping and becoming better at healthy shopping, not falling victim to marketing slogans and messages and all these fancy products that are fancy but deliver very little of promised value. So how to master your shopping to start mastering your healthy eating habits and your healthy eating behaviors. First of all, I want to talk to you about two things that you need to focus on in order for you to master your shopping or any healthy eating behaviors. So you need to focus on two things to maximize nutrition and healthiness of your food: variety and maximum nutrients per calorie. So variety of different nutrients coming from your foods and maximum nutrients per calorie per bite of food, maximum life essential nutrients. Because guys, you can get a lot of nutrients from kale, but you cannot get enough calories or sustain yourself on kale. So you need to hit as many nutrition points with your healthy food, with your healthy eating behaviors as possible. And that again you ensure through variety and through choosing the foods that are proven to have maximum life essential, health essential nutrients for human health. So let's go for maximum nutrients first. And of course, the best way to talk about that is to talk about practical stuff, the foods themselves. So from all my studies, all my research, all my practice, these are the foods that you want to focus on to maximize nutrient content of every single meal. And guys, if you're not familiar with some foods, or some foods seem to be weird to you, or you tried them once and you didn't really like them, experiment more. I used to hate Brussels sprouts until somebody roasted them for me with olive oil and garlic, and since then I learned how to cook them in several different ways. And as long as I put my favorite herbs, spices, and olive oil, I can eat like a bucket of Brussels sprouts. This is like officially my favorite vegetable now. Or before I used to hate liver. Now I eat liver almost every single day. Why? Because I learned how to cook it. And most of the stuff, it's not even that difficult to cook. You just add on top of them your favorite fat, like olive oil, or avocado oil, or maybe good quality butter, or goose or duck fat, or coconut oil, and you add your favorite herbs and spices in your favorite combination, and that's it. Almost any food will taste amazing. You wouldn't believe what kind of magic herbs, spices, and lemon, and some mushroom, and some onions can make when you cook it with any kind of food. So again, if some of the foods seem to be weird or something that you don't really like, try them again. Learn how to cook them. Try different versions of cooking styles, and I'm sure you're gonna love a lot of these foods again, or fall in love with them for the first time in your life. So back to our maximum nutrients containing food. Fatty fish like wild salmon, wild sardines, wild herring, mackerel, anchovies, especially sardines. They're like super rich in omega-3 fatty acids, also some monounsaturated and saturated fats that are super good for you, also calcium, also some potassium and magnesium, super rich in calcium. By the way, guys, if you're someone like me who cannot really tolerate dairy, or don't have dairy, or you don't have dairy good quality dairy available to you, then sardines, 230 grams of sardines, or basically 7 ounces of sardines, will give you almost your daily amount of calcium needed. Salmon has half of that, but also a great source. 100 grams of sesame seeds, or 3 ounces, will give you your daily dose of calcium. Just saying that fatty fish is it's not just good for omega-3 fatty acids. That's why fish oil is inferior to actual fatty fish or sardines. You're getting it all in whole package, and in a form that is most absorbable and recognizable to your body. So fatty fish, guys, start eating it on a regular basis. I recommend to everyone at least 2 times, but I eat it every day unless I'm fasting. So 3-4 times a week, especially a can of sardines, really easy to eat, amazing snack and amazing food to take with you. So fatty fish, again, sardines, salmon, go for wild because it makes a difference where your fish comes from. Sardines, salmon, mackerel, anchovies, all of these amazing foods, and you can either get them fresh and cook them, or have someone cook that for you, or you can also, as I do it very often, buy them in good quality cans without all this BPA, without preservatives and weird stuff, maybe some olive oil, water, salt, and that's it. The next item on our maximum nutrients containing foods are livers, and not just one kind of livers, even though cod liver is super amazing, super rich in vitamin A and D and vitamin K. It's an omega-3 fatty acids, one of a kind liver actually, and you can eat just 1 ounce of it, and vitamin A, vitamin D, you get all of it, omega-3 fatty acids, you get all of it. So cod liver is amazing, but also there are other livers that are rich in other nutrients like chicken liver or pork liver or beef liver. That's where you get your iron. Pork liver is high in potassium. Chicken liver, also vitamin A, vitamin iron, just a little bit less than in other livers, but it also richer in protein, and also easier for your body to digest, and it's easier to get usually. Duck liver or foie gras, or I'm not sure how you pronounce it exactly, but amazing for vitamin K2, also very rare nutrient. So all these livers, include them on a regular basis, and again, change them up. A lot of them you can find canned. You can find chicken liver pate or duck liver pate. You can cook them, really easy to cook, like 15 minutes on a medium heat with herbs, spices, some mushrooms and some onions. It's going to be amazing. So livers, really easy to cook. Learn how to cook them and enjoy them. They are really full of nutrients, as a lot of other organ meats. So guys, no matter where in the world you are, figure out, investigate what kind of organ meats available to you of healthy animals. Go to farmers markets, go to butchers, to local butchers, and get organ meats, get bone on the meat, get a fatty cuts of healthy animals, and that's where a lot of nutrients are. I love to eat hearts, also really great and rich in minerals like zinc, like folate, B6, B12, selenium, also Q10, CQ. I've always CoQ10, I always forget that nutrients, but really amazing for your heart and your mitochondria for longevity. So hearts are amazing also for you. Chicken hearts are really easy to find, also really, really cheap, by the way, guys. So organ meats besides livers, any sorts of organ meats, and as I've mentioned, meat on the bone. So go to a butcher and get some bones, maybe learn how to cook some home-cooked bone broth. That is an amazing drink for so many reasons: to boost your immune system, to heal your gut, to be a great meal substitution sometimes, or a cold remedy, because it has so many nutrients, also rich in calcium and collagen naturally occurring in bone broth. But anyway, meat on the bones and fattier cuts of healthy animals are full of nutrients and of energy in the form of fat. So organ meats after fatty fish, that's second on my list, but I usually just combine them because these are like the richest foods in nutrients, in most bioavailable, recognizable by your body form. Then of course we have whole eggs that are also super rich in nutrients, and don't just go for chicken eggs of the best quality like pastured eggs from farms, but also go for quail eggs, for duck eggs. They all have different nutrients, but they all super rich, on different antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, some vitamin D, some vitamin A, choline, that is super important for brain health. So whole eggs, guys, eat them. In the realm of vegetables and plant foods, I would always try to get some avocados for fiber that is super beneficial to your gut health, but also for monounsaturated fatty acids, and also vitamin C, potassium, magnesium, like a lot of nutrients in avocados. I would eat them on a regular basis for sure. I usually eat one a day. Then olives, also amazing for your arteries, for your heart health, for to lower inflammation. Great source of fiber that is good for your gut. So olives, especially I love, I found this product in Malaysia and hope to find it somewhere else. So olives stuffed with almonds, that is in olive oil. That is so amazing, guys. So stuffed olives with almonds now is my favorite snack too. But yeah, olives, you can find them in a lot of different forms. Great as snacks. So avocados, olives are full of nutrients, great for your arteries, for heart health, to lower inflammation. So get them. And then the last on my list, last but not least, red and green vegetables. Those are high in antioxidants, also carrots, raw carrots, high in beta carotenes, in a lot of other antioxidants, vitamins and minerals, in different beneficial fibers, especially, green vegetables like broccoli, like Brussels sprouts, spinach, collard greens, Swiss chard, kale. I'm talking about more of mature greens here that you need to cook for a few minutes. Then also, of course, asparagus. All of these vegetables, they're super amazing for you, rich in, again, all these sorts of vitamins, minerals and fibers. And guys, if you get those vegetables not fresh from the farm, then I recommend to get them frozen, because that way you actually get more nutrients than from the fresh, quote unquote, vegetables that were sitting on the shelves of the supermarkets exposed to light and oxygen forever. So go for frozen ones, because they are usually picked on the peak of their ripeness, and they're frozen right away, and all the processes degrading the nutrients in those vegetables, they are stopped or considerably slowed down, and so they travel much better. They preserve their vitamins and minerals much better, and when you cook them, they usually even taste much better than quote unquote fresh that you get from the shelves of any supermarket, imported from somewhere, or that just sit there for like days and weeks. They, those companies who put those vegetables on the shelves, they learned how to make them look good and keep them looking good, but they don't really do much for preserving nutrients these days. So frozen ones are actually better for you. Same goes, by the way, guys, for frozen berries. For example, berries do not hold their nutrition really well when they travel or they sit on the shelves on the supermarkets, but they do so when they are frozen on the peak of their ripeness. So also, unless you're picking your berries yourself or get them somewhere picked that day, I recommend you to get your berries frozen and just unfreeze them once to eat or use in recipes. So, and that's our list of the most nutrient-dense foods. And when it comes to variety, guys, let's just combine it all together. We listed all these foods that are super rich in nutrients. And so what you want to do to make sure that you're getting variety of those foods and those nutrients, well, first of all, go for foods that are available locally and seasonally, especially when it comes to produce, to vegetables, to any sort of plant material that is available seasonally. But when it comes to fatty fish, when it comes to organ meats, try to pick up something different for maybe every day of your week. So one day you might be eating salmon, the next day you might be eating duck eggs, the next day you might pick up some chicken livers, the next day you might eat some sardines. And so go for different vegetables, different fatty fish, or different organ meats every day. And when you create your shopping list, just put on the list that, for example, that's how I do it. I put For example, so 3 days I eat fish, right? And so I pick up different sorts of fish that is available on the market on where I shop this day, right? Or and then maybe 2 days I eat organ meats. So I go to a place where I buy my food and I choose organ meats that are available, because not everything is available every single day, and it's good. That's how you get the variety, right? That's how nature works. Some things you have one day and some things you have on other days, and then maybe one day a week I eat just eggs and that's all I eat, and maybe one day a week I'm a vegan or vegetarian, right? And then one day a week I fast. Like I personally fast every Sunday the whole day. And that's how you make sure you get the variety of nutrients. Really easy. Just rotate the stuff that you have available to you. And usually, again, it happens automatically to a degree, because even though we grow a lot of things all year round, we still don't get the same things. Still, what is seasonal, usually it's cheaper. What is seasonal and local, usually it's cheaper, it's more affordable, and it's fresher, and they usually have some deals whenever you shop for food, for those kinds of foods, local, seasonal. So include variety on your shopping list, in your plan, and that's how you eat maximum variety. When it comes to shopping lists, the really easy way to do it is to figure out how much food you need for your household. That might be you alone or the whole family, your kids, your boyfriends or your girlfriends. So figure out, from your experience, like how much food you usually consume per day, and then just sum it up, when it comes to meats, to vegetables, to your fatty fish. Sum it up and add approximate amount. Usually it's good to go a little bit overboard before you learn the exact amount of food you need. And so sum it up, put it on your list, and when you're at the store, just go through the list and pick up those items. That's gonna save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of money, because you're not gonna buy things that you don't actually need. But don't forget also to include on your shopping list, besides the main items, cooking fats. So that might be, my favorites are olive oil and coconut oil, and some sort of animal fat, like maybe ghee, or grass-fed ghee, or duck fat, or goose fat, or maybe butter if I have it available of good quality. So pick up your favorite fats. Of course, avoid vegetable oils. Don't forget about that. And then any sorts of healthy sources and dressing, without added sugars, preservatives, additives. There are companies that create amazing sources and dressing based on good quality fats. So pick up those to add to your vegetables, to your meats, to make them taste amazing. Even though, for example, you might not like livers, but if you put a certain dressing on it, you love it. So pick up those things. Don't forget to pick up some salt, some lemons. Add a little bit of lemon juice, like maybe squeeze a wedge over your cooking at the end of cooking. It's gonna give that, special zest to whatever dish you are making. Believe me, you're gonna enjoy your dish much better if you add a little bit of freshly squeezed lemon juice to your dish at the end of your cooking. So pick up maybe lemons, maybe limes, doesn't really make a difference. Salt, garlic, onions, and mushrooms. I like to add those to any dish that I cook, especially onions, because they give your food that umaminess, basically deliciousness or savoriness, and give your food that extra flavor. So amazing. Before every cooking, at the beginning of every cooking session, in my pan I put some water and some onions, or some oil, like coconut oil and some onions, and for 5 minutes I saute them, and once my onions start getting a little bit softer, I add the rest of the ingredients and cook it all, and my food always comes out really nicely. And spice and herbs, of course, that you love. Pick up different mixes every time, like Italian mix, or Indian mix, or Mexican food mix, or some other mix added to your dishes, and every time your dish will taste completely different without you doing much different in the kitchen. You're gonna have that variety of flavors without you learning new recipes really. So that's when it comes to shopping. And for to-go items, or snacks, or for occasions when you don't have time to cook, or for emergencies when you don't want to cook, so pick up also some of those night items. Nuts, my favorite ones and the most nutritious and delicious ones. Well, deliciousness is really a matter of perspective, but the most nutritious and good for you nuts are walnuts, macadamia, Brazil nuts, pecan nuts, pistachios, hazelnuts, almonds, and that's basically it. Some seeds like sesame seeds, flax seeds are also amazing. You just need to know how to eat them properly. Uh, Avoid when buying nuts any vegetable oils that they use to roast them. So either get them raw, the best to preserve all the fats, or maybe sprouted, even better, or dry roasted, maybe with some salt is also amazing, but avoid all sorts of fats that they add to some nuts and seeds. And also try to avoid cashews and peanuts because they tend to be pro-inflammatory for a lot of people. So nuts, they travel away, they are super easy to take with you anywhere you go, traveling or to work or to school, or to your gym to have right after you work out if you gotta do something else after your workout. So get nuts, pack them in single serving containers or those Ziploc bags, and that's it. Some snacks are ready to go to keep your hunger and cravings for unhealthy stuff at bay. Canned seafood, another item I like to pick up every time I shop because they're so easy to travel with or to eat on the go, or when you don't have time or don't want the desire to cook. So canned sardines, my favorites, in olive oil or in water with salt, canned salmon, canned tuna, canned herring, canned oysters, canned cod liver, canned anchovies. Just make sure again there are no vegetable oils. There are no preservatives or no things like liquid smoke. I don't even know what the hell that is, but try to avoid that kind of stuff in your food. Try to have the least industrial ingredients and unnatural preservatives as possible. So canned seafood, avocados, carrots, other vegetable sticks, sweet and fresh green peas. They're not sweetened, they're just naturally sweet. Plus maybe guacamole or hummus that you can buy ready, or you can make yourself. Just again check the ingredients if you buy them ready to go. Great combination with your either veggie sticks or carrot sticks. Avocados are always great to eat. If you decide to take avocados with you, then probably it's a good idea to cut your avocado in half and take the pit out, or leave it there and then take it out with your spoon. So pack a spoon, and that's how you can eat your avocados easily anywhere. So veggie sticks, I already mentioned one of my favorite to-go snacks is stuffed olives. Just again make sure that there are no preservatives, no stuff, that weird ingredients, maybe some extra virgin olive oil, maybe some salt, olives stuffed with avocados, or maybe with some seafood, or maybe with some vegetables. They are amazing. So pick up those. Boiled eggs. In a lot of places you can find pre-boiled eggs that are super easy to travel for a short time. You don't need to refrigerate them if you're going to eat them the same day. You can pre-boil them at home and peel them and take them with you. Amazing snack too. Some Good quality cheeses or nut butters are also amazing. When it comes to nut butters, try to find something in single serving containers. And also things like nuts or cheeses, try to also separate them or pack them in single serving containers if they don't come that way. Why? Because those things usually are easy to overeat, and then you're kind of not hungry, and you skip on items that should be adding maximum amount of nutrients to your diet, like your fatty fish or your organ meats and a lot of vegetables, and then you end up eating just nuts and cheese and nut butters that are good additions to your diet, but they shouldn't be your diet. Like, you shouldn't live on nuts, nut butters, and all sorts of fats and cheeses. That is not a well-balanced diet, guys. I hope so understand that. Plus, if you're someone who's watching their weight, or you want to stay lean, or you want to get lean, those items are really easy to overeat and go overboard, messing up all your weight loss or getting lean or staying lean plans. So pack them in single serving containers right from the start, and you would be surprised how easy it is not to overeat when you do that, when you just have a small package with single serving that you can finish, and you don't have to worry about controlling yourself, controlling the urge to eat the whole bag of, I don't know, nuts, for example, when you have the whole bag of nuts in front of you. So that's one of my hacks that I always use with those items that I personally tend to overeat if I don't pack them individually, like nut butters or nuts. I can eat a whole bag of nuts unless I put them in a single serving container that I can finish and that I planned to finish. So use this hack to I don't know, protect yourself from yourself. We humans, we all have this tendency to eat more than we require, and that's biologically natural, but sometimes we have other goals, and we need to watch what we eat and how much we eat a little bit more closely. So single serving containers is a great hack for that. Some other foods that are great to grab on the go, or to have pre-cooked in your fridge for easy to assemble meals are pre-cooked protein foods, like maybe chicken or some meat, or maybe some cured meats, some dried meats, like dried seafood or dried beef jerky, or dried they even have like salmon jerky or mackerel jerky. This kind of proteins and fats that you can just grab with and eat, or grab and go, put them in Ziploc container or somewhere else. So these are amazing. Seaweed snacks I also love to have whenever I need to chew on something but I don't feel like eating a lot of calories or eating a lot of anything. And yeah, that's about it what it comes to go items that also are easy to travel with, or again take with you to work as a pack-up lunch, or to school, to whatever it is you need to go. Desserts, guys. Should you get desserts and dessert-like items to have at home? I highly recommend not to, and make desserts a special occasion for the whole family if you're not living alone. Have this culture in your house that desserts and those kind of items, they are for special occasions, and not so much to not really so much to celebrate or to reward yourself. I don't really recommend to look at desserts as some sort of rewards, but to have this understanding that those items, they do not promote the best health, and they need to be eaten rarely to have really good health. And things you have rarely should not be in your house permanently. And people are really bad at moderating things higher in sugars and salt, and having higher bliss point, or things that we tend to enjoy too much. So it's better to keep them out of the house. Or if you decide to make them yourself with maybe your kids or your loved ones, then it's good to make them also for just special occasions, in smaller batch. If you're cooking something for let's say an occasion, and you're gonna have guests, and you are not sure, how much of things you want, and of course you probably want to have a little bit more so everybody gets enough. So cook a lot, but then give those things away. So you have a party, right, and people eat all these foods and snacks, and you have leftovers. So give it to people to enjoy at home. Divide them among all of your guests, or guests who like to get some home to maybe to their kids or their spouses who couldn't attend, and don't keep them in your house. Really simple. Have food for special occasions, or have it out. It's even better. Make it a little bit harder to get to. You wouldn't believe how much it will save you from those moments when I don't know, you're dealing with some stress, or you're hungry and you don't want to cook, and those cookies look at you really tempting, and you just probably you would grab one unless they're out of your house, and you can grab a piece of or a can of sardines instead, and that will totally kill your hunger. So be smart, keep desserts out of the house, keep them to special occasions. That's where they belong. And that's how they can be a part of a healthy diet. But also don't forget that there are so many substitutions. Like, you don't have to eat junk to enjoy your desserts. There are healthy sweetener substitutions, milk substitutions, gluten substitutions. Our food industry is amazing these days for that. Like, you can find the low carb, like low sugar, low fat, whatever it is, all natural substitutions for your favorite desserts. So be creative. A lot of desserts, they don't even have to be that unhealthy, and those you can have a little bit more often. So desserts, we are finishing with desserts for now, and we're gonna go to our next subject, saving money and saving time shopping. And it's really, there are just a few things, simple things, that all of us probably should practice to save time and energy when shopping for foods, especially good quality foods that we all need to be eating. So number one, shop with shopping list. As we discussed, plan your food, plan your eating behaviors, and that way you end up wasting much less resources and buying much less unnecessary foods. Then learn how to store your food. So for example, if it's greens or vegetables fresh, then probably you want to sprinkle them with water, wash them, put them in the coldest part of your fridge, a little bit separated, so they have space to breathe, and they have water, and so they stay fresh like that much longer. Just learn how to store your food, what you should put in the fridge, what you shouldn't put in the fridge, and what you maybe should put to the freezer to store for longer all the nutrients. Then when it comes to also saving money and also saving energy, subscribe to some platforms that there are a lot of these days that deliver meats or poultry. They deliver even vegetables, from the farms. A lot of vertical farms that grow fresh greens will deliver fresh greens to you on the schedule that you choose. And when you subscribe, you usually get more for cheaper price and of the better quality. So find out what kind of delivery brands you have in the area that deliver local, organic, best quality, farm fresh meats and veggies and seafood and greens. Those save you a lot of money and a lot of energy, because you don't have to shop for them and think about that all the time. And plus, you're gonna get the best possible quality, local, fresh, organic from the farm, because you get to learn your farmer, you get to know your farmer. this is a great hack for you to use whenever you're in a location where you're permanent, or even when you're not that permanent but staying for a long time. You can still do that. So do some research and figure out where you can save that money and energy and time by shopping, by subscribing to different subscription um, subscription services that deliver all that fresh food to you. Now let's get to traveling and healthy eating. And there are two things you want to think about when it comes to healthy eating and traveling. Number one, eating on the go, choosing foods when you are already in in between locations, and then you want to think about things that you can take with you. So while traveling, you probably want to, well, there are things that are available almost anywhere universally. I like to pick up some almonds, some walnuts that are usually, also these days I see a lot of macadamia nuts, pecan nuts, Brazil nuts, stored in duty-free shops, stored on bus stations, on gas stations. So check out for some good quality nuts. You might be surprised how many you can find in different airports, train stations, bus stations. So nuts, one of my favorite things to grab and go on the go. If you eat at some cafe or restaurant, really easy thing to do is to think about your meal as a two-part thing. A lot of vegetables and some proteins. And here, of course, if you can find something like fatty fish, seafood, organ meats, go for it. If you can't, just go for any protein like a chicken breast and a lot of vegetables, the best vegetables you can find. If I can't find anything but iceberg lettuce, I skip my vegetables entirely and go for some nuts for additional fiber and antioxidants and some additional minerals. So do that too. Any sorts of grills are amazing, meaning like maybe grilled seafood, grilled meat, grilled vegetables. Just make sure to avoid as much as possible all sorts of sauces, dressing, vegetable oils that contain God knows what. Just go for something that is more simple. Or ask for sauce and dressing on the side, and maybe ask for olive oil and lemon juice on the side. That's when it comes to foods that you can get somewhere. Again, remember proteins and vegetables, and go for a simpler version of that to avoid all the possible weird stuff in sauces, dressing, and marinades, all of these things. Don't forget about eggs. Amazing. The omelet, more or less you can customize it, asking not to put oils or not to put certain things in your eggs and to cook them a certain way. So eggs is another amazing hack like food that I get in almost any location while traveling. I don't know. And then of course things that you can grab to go with you are canned seafood. You can take that even on your plane. It travels well through the customs, through the security checkpoints. You can also take with you, of course, nuts and seeds. You can take with you avocados, eggs. Not sure. I never tried to get that through airport security checkpoint. Might travel well too. Any sorts of course, packed and stuff. Olives. Grab that as a snack, maybe some cheeses, maybe some jerky. All of that travels well too. Again, canned seafood, nuts and seeds, olives, stuffed olives, avocados, boiled eggs, probably beef jerky or dried seafood. All of that is amazing to take with you on the go. There are also, of course, things like keto cookie or new functional and low carb with all natural ingredients foods that you can search for from different brands that travel really well and can be an amazing on the go meal substitution. Not like amazing, but better than some crap that you might pick up some junk food. And also, guys, if you're someone who can easily fast during your travel, then do that. Sometimes I can do that, sometimes I can't. Depends on how long my travel is, depends on how stressed I feel and how much more challenges I have at the moment. So, but better have something, be prepared. So if you feel super hungry, then you have something good to eat. And the last piece is about parties, special occasions, vacations. What to do when you're out, when you don't really have much control of what offered to you, when you have maybe a lot of food around you, like in a all-inclusive or buffet restaurant, and you're not sure you can even control yourself. So what to do in all of these locations to not go around with empty stomach, empty plate, and a grumpy face expression. So not to do that. It's actually really easy. In most situations, people don't really care if what you eat. They care more about whether you're having fun and you're not going around with an empty plate. So just load up your plate with the simpler versions of all sorts of vegetable dish, maybe again some veggie sticks, maybe some nuts and seeds, some proteins, maybe some grilled items, maybe some seafood platter stuff or cocktails, and just eat a bunch of that and you'll be fine. And by the way, if you're someone, I'm definitely that someone who tends to be tempted by a lot of food around them, then load up on the stuff that is good for you, that will deliver nutrients. And yeah, maybe you will consume a little bit more calories, a little bit more energy, a little bit more food that you plan to, but make sure it's good food. So I usually, when I'm at some sort of buffet places, I go for a lot of vegetables, especially grilled vegetables. I love those fresh vegetables, maybe some veggie sticks, and of course I load up on, like, my favorite ones are grilled seafood buffet. Or I also love all sorts of cured meats, not processed but cured. The difference is processed meats are processed, they look like some sort of sausages or stuff, whereas cured meats are usually whole meats but cured with salt, sometimes spice and herbs. And so I load up on that, maybe some, steaks, some grilled meat, something that looks really simple and whole without much of dressing, sauces, and all stuff, either inside that or outside that. So something that looks really simple, proteins and vegetables, and maybe some, nuts and seeds if they have that around. I love nuts and seeds. And that's it. And I feel full and I don't feel tempted to eat a whole lot of bunch of stuff. When your stomach is full with good stuff, you really don't feel like eating a bunch of other stuff. But when you decide to force yourself to starve, that's when you start eating a bunch of junk. Not because you're that weak willpowered person, but because you're just hungry. So eat good food and you'll be able to avoid all the crap really easily. So that's it for today, guys. To sum up, we talked about maximum variety and maximum nutrition per bite of your food when eating and creating your shopping list and shopping for healthy foods. We talked about the most nutritious foods. To re-listen to this episode if you don't remember all of this. We talked about how to create the best shopping list, what to focus on. We also talked a lot about what did we talk about? Well, let me look at it. About to-go items. What sorts of items are the best for the times when you don't want to cook, when you don't have time to cook, or some items that are super easy to grab and go and eat on the go. We talked about desserts and what to do to avoid desserts screwing up all your healthy eating plans. We talk about how to save money and energy shopping, preventing waste at the same time, and sticking with your healthy eating resolutions. We talked about traveling and eating while traveling, the best options there. We also talked about eating out strategies or eating on vacations and any sorts of buffet style of eating places. And I guess I just want to stress out as a final thought, in all of your foods, shopping for different sorts of packaged products, just don't forget to look out for different ingredients that can be damaging to your health and that can, when consumed regularly, really change your health, not in a good way. And those are vegetable oils. You're not sure about them, always feel free to reach out and ask them. We talked a lot about vegetable oils on this podcast. Added sugars and sweeteners of all sorts, sauces and dressings, make sure that they do not have vegetable oils, added sugars, and all sorts of preservatives and flavorings. Also, of course, industrial ingredients, like weird ingredients. Make sure that on the ingredient list you don't have some weird foods that can be screwing up your health, your digestive health, your inflammation levels, or can create some inflammatory reactions in your gut that can cause some autoimmune issues or allergic reactions. So just make sure that you don't have all of that in your food when shopping for food. And that's about it, guys. It's not that difficult. What is a little bit difficult is getting at the most nutritious foods that we talked about today in a world where our food system is not focusing on delivering maximum nutrition per bite of food. Our food system focuses on flavor, on variety, on bliss point of foods, on selling points of foods and making profits, on sustainability, seems on everything. Our food system focuses on everything, but not our human nutrition needs. So that, for now, you gotta do yourself. And we learned about that today. So thank you guys for tuning in, for paying attention, for working on your healthy eating habits, because all of us, by changing our own habits, we inspire and ignite positive change in the world. And for that, I thank you. And by doing that, we are all transforming our food industry. We are teaching it what it needs to provide to us. So eat better daily, not for yourself, but for a better world around you. Thank you, and till next time, eat better daily.